Welcome back, everybody. I hope you and your families are safe and well, and we look forward to seeing you all in our lessons over the next few days as you complete your first week back at the college. I hope the testing is going well as well, and thank you for your support in making it work. We are extremely proud of how all of you have managed your remote learning in this last lockdown, and thank you to your teachers, parents and carers for also making remote learning work. This presentation is to help us refocus on our core expectations as a college and ensure we all are clear about what they are and our own individual and collective responsibility in meeting them. There are some changes which I will outline later in the presentation, and if there are any questions, please ask your tutor at the end of the presentation. I wish you all a successful return to the college and look forward to seeing you around the site over the next few days. Let's start with our 4 core expectations that we believe are necessary for you to be ready to learn. These were introduced 2 years ago and were created as a result of consultation with students, teachers and parents and carers. These 4 core expectations are at the centre of everything we do at the college and must be observed at all times in order that we can learn well, our teachers can teach without disruption, you experience a caring, respectful and supportive environment, and ultimately you get the best out of your time at the college and make great progress. The 4 core expectations are: be prepared, be respectful, be engaged and be kind. There are a number of key things we expect from each of the 4 core expectations, and you will see them on this presentation and also on posters around the college. We are proud of the vast majority of students who meet these expectations every day, and will be reminding consistently those who are not that they have a responsibility to do so, allowing everybody at the college to get the best out of their learning. The next part of the presentation is new and will also be central to what we do and how we interact now you are back at college. This is a commitment we are all making in how we interact and behave with each other in order that our 4 expectations can be achieved by everyone. We call this the ECC Way and is how we will shape the culture we want. This will appear on posters throughout the college and has been shared with parents, carers and members of staff. Let's have a closer look at each of the aspects we will be committing to in our interactions with each other every day. Our routines. We want to ensure starts to lessons are consistent across the college, they are orderly, and as such, learning can begin quickly. Therefore, we will all be committing to the following routine at the start of the lessons, which has 5 steps. Number 1, lineups are quiet and in a straight line. This refers to collection points, and we must all ensure that when we arrive at the collection point, we go to our line, we line up quietly and in a straight line, so that when the teacher arrives, they can quickly then take you to the classroom and learning can begin. Meet and greet. Your teacher will always meet and greet you at the collection point or in normal times at the door to the classroom before the lesson begins. Number 3, equipment out. When you've entered the classroom, it is essential that you get your equipment out first. Your bag is put under the desk. Equipment and planners are placed on the table in front of you. Number 4, stand behind your chairs and check uniform. Before you sit down at the start of a lesson, you'll stand behind your chairs. Your teacher will just do a quick check that your equipment is out on the desk and also a quick check of uniform, and then we'll invite you to sit down when that has been done. And finally 5, register in silence. It's really important that this is done to ensure accuracy and that the register is completed quickly at the start of every lesson. Our rules. I have already outlined these as our 4 core expectations earlier in the presentation, which we will need to remember at all times. We will. This commits to all of us to celebrate achievement and praise publicly. However, if someone needs reminding about an expectation or behaving in the correct way, this is done with them privately. We are. This also refers to how we operate and interact with each other in the college community. We are calm, we follow our routines, and we think about what we are saying before we say it in order to avoid hurting somebody else or letting yourself down. We also all notice the best in each other and encourage each other, and where relationships between us have broken down, we repair them. When we go above and beyond refers to noticing when you are doing a great job and giving your learning every effort and going the extra mile. We will do this by giving verbal praise and recognition as often as possible. We will also have a recognition board in every classroom, meaning that at the top of each board, teachers will have 4 headings: be respectful, be engaged, be kind, be prepared. And where they see you are going above and beyond in meeting these expectations, they will write your name on the board to recognise and acknowledge your effort. We will also continue to use class charts to praise achievements, and will share with home when you have achieved well and deserve recognition for it. Our in-class steps. This refers to the steps the teacher will take in class should expectations not be met by a student, which results in disruption to the class. The teacher will remind privately of the college expectations and reinforce their expectation as a first warning, using our phrases to shape their interaction. Last chance verbal warning will be given privately if engagement does not improve, and the teacher will continue to interact with the student using our phrases so they are clear why they have been given a final verbal warning. If expectations are still not being met, the teacher will give an appropriate consequence, such as a request for a 2-minute conversation at the end of the lesson, being sent out of the classroom for a couple of minutes, or, if they have indicated in their final warning, being sent to Ready to Learn. If this happens, there will be a follow-up restorative conversation with the teacher, and there will be a requirement when in Ready to Learn for the student to undertake tasks to help prepare for their restorative conversation. We manage moments and our phrases. These indicate how teachers will shape their conversation and interaction with any student not meeting our core expectations both in and outside the classroom. We rebuild and repair. This shapes how we reflect and take restorative steps to put things right if we have either consistently not met expectations for a teacher or with each other. These questions help us reflect and rebuild our relationships and will be used whenever relationships have broken down. All of the points on the last 2 slides form the ECC Way, shaping how we interact with each other, and allows us to meet our 4 expectations and create a culture of tolerance, kindness and respectfulness to all in the college community. There have been changes to the Ready to Learn system since last term. These changes include: there continues to be a first warning intervention should expectations not be met, but now followed by a final verbal warning if this continues. There will no longer be names on the board. Both warnings will be given verbally. There is no longer a RTL room on Green Close site, so if students are sent to RTL, they must go to the RTL room on the Gypsy Lane site. Students will be expected to complete a number of restorative tasks should they be sent to RTL, which will be submitted to their teachers ready for restorative conversations. Parents, carers will continue to be contacted should a student be sent to RTL, and they will continue to have an hour's detention the following day at break and lunch. Mr. Turner has now moved next to the RTL and internal rooms. If a student receives 3 Ready to Learns in a subject, they will automatically be placed on department report with parents, carers contacted. If a student receives RTLs across 3 subjects, they will be placed on a tutor report and parents, carers contacted, so everybody can work together to ensure the student is meeting expectations more consistently and remaining in the classroom, learning and making good progress. Behaviours in relation to COVID-19 upon return. It's really important we are acting safely and responsibly around COVID-19 upon return to the college, and that we remember some key safety points. One is to catch it, bin it and kill it. That means that if you do sneeze, try and ensure you catch it in a tissue. that you dispose of it safely in a bin with a lid and that you hand sanitize afterwards. Making sure you keep socially distanced where it is possible to do so, and where you cannot, that you are wearing a face covering. Making sure you are hand washing or hand sanitizing at key points during the school day and in the following situations: after coughing and sneezing, as indicated earlier, before and after filling a water bottle, after using the toilet, after accidental physical contact with others, and after returning from outside to the classroom. It's really important that you hand sanitize on entry to every classroom during the school day and when you leave, and also remember to hand sanitize before you eat as well. Major infringements include spitting or deliberate physical contact with other students, and if any student behaves in this way, they will face serious consequences, which could include exclusion from the college. Punctuality is extremely important, and particularly with current COVID measures, it is really vital that students are punctual to collection points so that teachers can take classes away and start lessons quickly so that learning can take place. Should a student be late for a lesson, when they arrive, they should knock respectfully on the door. They'll be asked to sit on a chair at the front of the room until the teacher is ready, and they will await instructions from the teacher. During that time, they will also have to fill in a late slip. The teacher will give a late mark and also a negative point, and will have a private discussion with the student at the end of the lesson to try and avoid that situation occurring in future. Please remember to go to the toilets at the appropriate time so that it does not affect learning. For the first lesson back, teachers will ask if anybody does require to go to the toilet at the start of the lesson. They will be allowed to go one at a time. Once that is done, then the teacher will explain very clearly that in future only students with medical notes, or if there's an absolute emergency, that they will be allowed to go to the toilet. Other than that, students should be in lessons during lesson time. This would also extend to asking to go to fill up water bottles. That should be done during break and lunchtime only, and not during lesson time. Just a reminder of some of our out-of-class behaviours as well. We must continue to link these in with our expectations of be prepared, be respectful, be kind and be engaged. They include walking calmly and quietly around the site at all times with no running. That you should line up for lessons calmly, quietly and in a straight line as are agreed routines. Students are to keep to the left of walkways, that includes corridors and especially the bridge. And you should not push or shove any other student, and in relation to COVID, currently that would be considered a major infringement if done deliberately. Students should not use any foul language either directly or indirectly to each other. That is not respectful, it is not kind, and it's not acceptable in the college environment. Students should not eat on the move, they should eat when stationary, particularly in relation to current COVID measures. Students should not drop litter or food, and making sure that you're using the bins where provided, and that you should respectfully greet staff with "hello miss" or "hello sir." Just a reminder about mobile phones. You're not allowed your mobile phone out during the college day at any time. That includes at the start of the day or at the end of the day as you leave the site. You should only get your mobile phone out once you have left the college site. If you need to speak to somebody at home during the college day, please go to the nearest key stage or year office and ask to use a college phone. They will be more than happy to help. If you are seen with your phone out during the college day, even if it's switched off, it will be confiscated for 5 days and will be returned through a signed agreement with your parents and carers. If it happens a second time in the course of a college year, it will be confiscated for 6 months. So please follow the rules with mobile phones so that we do not have any misunderstandings or any situations where a phone needs to be confiscated. We really want to avoid that happening. When you're out in the community, particularly when you're in community college uniform, remember that you are still representing the college. Therefore, we expect high standards from you at all times of behaviour, and remembering our core expectations, particularly of being respectful and being kind. That reflects positively on the college, and I'm always delighted to receive letters and hear from the public about kind things that students have done out in the community that reflect well on all of you. So please remember, you represent the college, whether you're either in college or out of college in uniform. And just a reminder finally about uniform rules. We will be checking uniform each lesson at the start as part of our routines. All tutors will also check uniform at the start of the day, and any major uniform breaches will be referred to your head of year so that we can address those quickly. A picture of the uniform expectations are on the right, and make sure that your uniform reaches those expectations. A reminder that in terms of jewellery, only one stud per ear is allowed, and that is it. No rings are allowed. And make sure that uniform is being worn smartly and correctly at all times. Thank you for listening to this presentation. It's been a lot to think about. The whole aim is to ensure we collectively achieve an environment in college where we can ensure we all have the best experiences, we take responsibility for our behaviours, we can learn and make progress, and we have a culture of respect, kindness and tolerance to all in the college community. I wish you every success in your return. Keep learning as a focus, and let's all stay united on our core expectations of be prepared, be kind, be engaged, be respectful, to make every day at the college a great one. I'll leave you with this quote.